and HORDES World Championship. Both of our players who have fought really hard again to get to this spot.
They're both really strong players. What a game! Oh my goodness.
We are ready to get this match underway. Hello everyone and welcome to the final match for Iron Gauntlet for 2014-2015.
So exciting.
The World Championship event happens right now, right here in Bellevue, Washington at Lock and Load 2015. I'm Will Shick, the Director of Business Development, and with me, again, is William Hungerford, our volunteer and organized play coordinator.
Yep, that's me.
So this is the big enchilada. This is the king burrito. It's the taco platter extraordinaire. I'm running out of Mexican food items. I'm real hungry. It's been an awesome day.
Look at that trophy.
Yeah,
look at the trophy they're playing for. And
look at the table behind it.
Wait till you get a shot of this
behind
table.
it. Like, it's an amazing table put together by our master terrain maker, Michael Archer, painted in part by him and also the P3 Studio guys. It's just a gorgeous table, beautifully illustrated. You'll notice that the table is actually 6x4 with a very strictly designated 4x4 play space, which allows it to look gorgeous and be very playable at the same time. There's some special features on this table we want to talk about really quick. One, you'll notice it's all cobblestone. However, we don't count it as man-made terrain, so you can dig into it. The cobblestones are just loose. You'll see they're all ripped up there, so it's not too hard for people to dig trenches. We have a hell diver here, which is going to probably be burrowing once or twice. The green patches with trees do count as forests. The terraced
except for the ones right around the zone. So the green elevated area in the upper left that has the forests, or has the trees is a forest. The areas around the zone are supposed to just be sort of a little park. They're they're just a little bit of decoration.
The terraced hills as well, those are counted as hills. So we have a bunch of different terrain there. The objectives for this area also are a little different. The lamp posts actually count as flags for this table, and the two statues near the center are objectives
because
for this scenario.
This is Recon, the new scenario added to Steamroller 2015.
So for those of you just joining us, our finals match is actually going to feature Trent Denison, who fought his way through the Iron Gauntlet today. You saw him in a match earlier where he faced off with his Legion force and brought himself to victory over Jamie Perkins and Kador. Trent hails from Brisbane, Australia, so we're really excited to have him in the finals match here, our first international finalist for Iron Gauntlet ever in its entire series. Trent brings with him a very nasty Crixian force built out of his 3 lists, which featured Scar 1, Denegra 1, and Goreshade 2. He's decided to go for this match in Crix-on-Crix action with Denegra the War Witch, so Denegra 1. Denegra's bringing along his Scarlock, 2 Night Wretches, Dougal McNail, Lord Rockbottom, a War Witch Siren, Darag Wraith, Tartarus, Iacos, who has no Warjacks assigned to him, but that proved to be quite a smart choice in his previous game where Iacos finished off forward Commander Sorsha with a well-thrown Trident. Pistol Wraith, Max Mechanothralls with the UA and 2 Brute Thralls. Blood Witches at a min unit with the Blood Hag. The Wither Shadow Combine, a min unit of Bane Thralls with the UA. A max unit of Nis Hunters, as well as Max Boomhowlers. The Devil Shadows Mutineers, which we saw him use to great effect in his previous game, as well as his objective being the Armory, as they had to select an objective for each of their lists according to the Steamroller scenario rules.
And making an immediate return back to the camera is Jeremy Lee, who we just finished watching play. Jeremy's bringing Wraith Witch Denegra. So that's right. Our world finals, ladies and gentlemen, is Denny versus Denny. Crix-on-Crix for control of the city. Now, Denegra 2 is bringing Deathjack, Nightmare, 2 Night Wretches, and a Helldiver in her battle group. Additionally, her army has Orin Midwinter, Saxon Oric, a pair of War Witch Sirens, a max unit of Statixis Raiders with their UA, a max unit of Statixis Raiders without the UA, a max unit of Statixis Blood Witches with their UA, a max unit of Black Banes, and the Wither Shadow Combine. His objective for this game is going to be the fuel cache to get some free charges from those jacks he's bringing with him.
Well, a very different list from what we saw with Jamie not so long ago, where it was all the dudes ever.
Yeah.
And we saw him grind out a impressive win over David, who is a close opponent of his. They both hail from Asgard Games in Houston, Texas. It was a hard-fought and long game, went to time. Very different list. Now we see whereas the Asphyxious Hellbringer list had one Jack, he now has several Jacks, including Deneger's named character Jack. Whereas Trent's list does not feature a lot of Warjacks, although it does have 2 Arc Nodes for her to be able to use Venoms and Scourges through for spell assassination. It features a lot of Mercenaries, though. Once again, we see a Crix list that has a large amount of living models, which is just an interesting twist on the whole thing. Trent, who took the first turn, is now setting up his deployment. You see him putting those boom howlers right towards the center.
Yeah. You notice the judges have made a ring of chairs around the back end. That's so people don't crowd too much around those tables, because with the large backdrop, the judges need a clear view.
Yeah.
So
one of the things to note about the World Finals, we talk a little bit about how it's player skill, it's knowledge of the game. But another huge factor in any event like this, and especially the Iron Gauntlet, is just player endurance. These guys have been going all day. They've been playing in events before. Trent actually played in an overnight event with his team from Australia.
Yeah.
So these guys are kind of like the Walking Dead right now. They have to keep that mental acuity, that focus, despite this extreme exhaustion they might be feeling. And that leads to some really interesting events where you have to manage yourself and your tiredness as well as your opponent and what's happening on the table. And the mark of a true player and the mark of all of these Iron Gauntlet finals is their ability to do that under pressure. And it's something that never ceases to really amaze me.
Yep. Our judges for this match are Tim Benke, Matt Clark, and Travis Marg. So we have 3 judges on this World Final Championship to make sure that there are no problems and any disputes are quickly resolved, though I honestly doubt there'll be any disputes that these 2 players can't handle amongst themselves.
Exactly. Do you want to talk a little bit about the scenario and how that plays out for the folks who might not be familiar with it, Hungerford?
So the scenario is Recon. It's the newest scenario that was added to the 2015 tournament packs. It does not have Kill Box. Now the zone is Control 1, Dominate 2, but it is being contested by the opponent's objective. So you have to destroy that objective first. And destroying the objective will get you 1 CP by itself. The 2 flags on the outer ends are Dominate only for 1. So unlike most scenarios that have flags, you can't even control them.
Right. Which leads to a whole lot of different tactical decisions and options in terms of, do you go after the objective? Do you try to take the zones? Do you go after the flags and kind of draw your opponent off?
Yeah.
With something like Trent's list, he has a lot of flexibility in terms of jamming the zone with troops and putting maybe Deneger off to the side to kind of force his opponent to choose if he has to split his smaller army or if he's going to just drive for the central zone or things like that. So there's a lot of flexibility in different choices, and one of the things I really like about this objective, or this scenario specifically, is there's multiple different paths to victory, and a lot of times it comes from a combination of different factors in terms of what you want to do. So you see a very fluid and dynamic scenario in and of itself because of those multiple options.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the players are going to get to show their versatility in handling this scenario and which way they want to go. It's going to be interesting to see what decisions they make coming soon.
I will say that unfortunately for everyone out there, because of the way the table is set up, the famous Drop Bear, who accompanied the Australian team, will not be making an appearance on camera likely this game.
It's probably for the best, because when Plummer and I saw that bear every time, we just lost it.
You did just fall apart at this like
oh no!
There it is. There's the Drop Bear.
Oh. He did it. He must have heard me. I don't know how that's possible.
We are very far removed from the table right now, so that our players are saved from our ramblings.
There's no mic that goes to the room. How did he know to do that?
So Drop Bear may be making another appearance here later on. You never know. They are called Drop Bears for a reason. See those trees being removed right now and put back.
All right.
So a little bit of rearrangement and then some adding back in. So talking a little bit about how they'll remove the trees once the play becomes an issue. So Blackbane's Ghost Raiders being set up by Jeremy over there, determining his position here as he continues to deploy overall. So looking at these 2 lists, when you're going up against a faction matchup, and this is actually, I believe, the first mirror match we've ever had in Iron Gauntlet Finals.
In an Iron Gauntlet Finals, absolutely, being that we've had 2 of them.
No, I mean even with the qualifiers.
Qualifiers
I don't believe
as
that
well?
we've ever seen a mirror match in the qualifiers.
Have we? No, I think you might be right.
Yeah, I believe this is the first mirror match we've ever had in a finals match in any Iron Gauntlet, qualifier or otherwise.
Yeah, I think you were right there. And it's Crix on Crix, and it's, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be an ugly fight.
You see what they're fighting for right there, the gorgeous Iron Gauntlet World Championship trophy for 2015.
Yep.
It's hand painted by our master painters from the P3 studio. I believe Matt DiPietro painted that one this year.
Yeah. And each year it's a different paint job. So we sculpted it in-house, made it ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. But each year it's a custom hand paint job so that each person who gets the trophy has a unique one.
Exactly.
No one will ever have the same one.
That's right. So, looking at this matchup and what you're facing here, what is your approach as a player? What are you looking at in terms of, this is an army right? Whether you know the army composition specifically, the units that make it up, right?
Yeah.
You're very familiar with what they can do, what can be brought to bear against you. So, one of the things that's curious about that is we talked last time about how Jeremy and David were longtime players. They played against each other all the time. They practiced against each other. And the kind of considerations you made there when you started building your list. In fact, we even found out that he brought this Sacral Vault specifically.
Right.
Because if he faced David at any point, he knew that was a model that would throw, that David knew would throw Jeremy off of his game.
Right.
And while it didn't bring him to victory, we definitely saw the impact that model had on the table.
Oh, it could change that entire game, right?
So in this case, what is your approach here as we see that Deathjack being AD? What do you think are critical to winning this event in this specific matchup?
I think what's going to have to happen is Jeremy's going to have to clear out a bunch of as much infantry as he can to try and protect the jacks and get to a situation where maybe Trent doesn't have enough hard-hitting factors to take care of them. And I think Trent wants to swarm the zone, destroy the objective, and fill it with more bodies than Jeremy can even handle, and just keep him out.
And what do Denegra, any version of Denegra, including Denegra 3, who is yet to be released, but it has been now fully revealed with the pre-release Reckoning here at Lock and Load.
Yeah.
The feat is always a thing, right? With every version of Denegra, her feat is just a huge game changer in terms of what she does on the table. What's the approach when you're looking at I'm facing down Denegra 2, I have Denegra 1. I don't think we're going to see a lot of there's a potential to see some counter-punch with the feats. You'd expect that Denegra 1 would likely be the first to kind of punch with it.
Both players know what the other Denny's do so well, and there's no doubt in my mind that Jeremy's going to try and feat to try and keep as much of Trent's models out of the zone as possible, and Trent's going to hold things back, particularly with that in mind.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to feat to soften him up, to have that turn where he can remove everything from the zone, fill it with his own guys, and then hold it.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of consider in this matchup, right? The massive amount of models, again, like you said, that Trent has on his side, really allows him to mitigate the feat because he can rush a lot of things forward and force Jeremy's hand a little bit.
Yeah.
Be like, if you don't do this, I'm going to engage you, and then you're kind of going to lose your chance. But if you do use it too early, which I can kind of force the issue on, then you're going to be out that feat, which is a huge impact on the game, and you're not going to accomplish what you need to do against an army that is massive as the one Trent's running right now.
And Trent does kind of have, it's interesting, he can kind of hold his feet until the engagement comes to the point where he wants it. So
yeah, absolutely. Denegra's feat always so potent regardless of when you use it. I mean, late game, mid game, early game, the withering is just, it affects so much across the stat bar.
Right.
See our players shaking hands, and this game is underway. So we are now fully invested in our World Championship match here at Lock and Load 2015 for Iron Gauntlet.
Crick's battling over, what is this, Point Born?
It can be whichever town we want.
I don't know, imagine it's Point Born. Crick's trying to take control of it. Somehow two Denegras are fighting. I blame Haley.
I would blame the Time Lord Haley. Major Prime Victoria Haley clearly had something to do with this, engineering it to her own specifications.
Yeah.
So you see the Devil Shadow Mutineers running forward. We had a Night Wretch run forward as well. Everything just kind of pushing into that zone. See the Niche Hunters running as well, hopping across that linear obstacle wall, the barricades there. Very aggressive moves, exactly what I kind of expected to see from Trent at this point. I just expect a very aggressive game from him. Pushing forward, constantly pushing forward. See him keeping Selena back, though, to make sure that she remains safe. You really want to keep her as the unit officer as protected as possible. See, Iacos, I believe that model is. I'm not sure which model that actually was.
Oh.
See, Bane Thrall's jumping. And we're going to take a really quick jump. We're going to cut over here in a moment to the Lock and Load 2015 costume contest, which was occurring right before this finals match got underway.
Yeah, during these early turns where Trent's just mainly going to be running models up, we want to give you guys a quick look at some of the stuff going at Lock and Load and check out all the people for the costume contest.
The amazing entries. I mean, these people just put so much work and everything into these costumes, and it's fantastic to see them kind of realize these characters' life. We have a Guardian Warjack, we have Ion and Holt, we have a Doom Reaver, we have Zerkova, we have 2 Gorman DeWolfs. I mean, just incredible in terms of the kind of dedication and skill here.
Was it worth the work? Was it worth the time? Absolutely. Something you think you're going to come back and do again next year?
So you see Michael Plummer, our convention coordinator, jumping forward. Jump back to the game here. We've got a lot of things just running up the table. Just like Hungerford kind of said, these first opening moves are very, very aggressive, just kind of getting in position. Trent being very fearless in the face of those Statixis Raiders. And we talked a little bit in the last game with Jeremy against David about how those Statixis are just so good at jamming up their opponents. They're so quick, so fast with reach. You can kind of force the issue with them, and that seems to be what Trent is doing here. He's really pushing the idea that he wants the Statixis to run into and engage him because he knows he can take them down between Tartarus with his curse and Boomhowler and everything else that he's got going on there. We see Dark Wraith advancing next.
Now, when we built this table, we built so those areas right around the zone could either be a park that was just nothing, you can remove those trees, or it could be a forest. And, looks like the way they set it up this time is that they are actually running it as a forest. So I was mistaken in the beginning.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Travis Smarg, who's head judging right now for us, about what the zones would be. And he had mentioned that he thought, for terrain density to get things to feel right on this table, they really wanted those things to be forests. So certainly things change and shift as we go. See those Mechanthrals running forward. As we make these moves, I think we're about ready to announce the winner of the costume contest, so we might cut back to that really quick, just to see which of our fabulous entries has actually won.
You're all going to walk away with some nice stuff. But for first place, and I'm not even sure exactly what our
first place being announced by Ed Burrell, creative director, who judged alongside Matt Wilson.
Mike, you want to fill us in on what that is?
Oh. We're talking about our first place prize here.
So we're going to have plaques for all of our winners, of course, and then
so every contestant will get a plaque for entering the costume contest. Jump back to the game here as they continue that. See Trent finalizing his moves here. He moves up those Necrosurgeon and Stitch Thralls. And last but not least, Iacos, Scourge of the Meridius, running forward, getting in position with the objective. Still so many models left to go here.
Because first place is going to go to Iona and Holt, and so we are going to double the reward.
So we see right here that Iona and Holt have actually won the costume contest. Since they entered as a duo, they're actually doubling the first place award, so that both entrants will get a prize.
So one more round of applause.
Congratulations to them for taking first place. Wonderful job. Great work from all of our contestants. I specifically love the Guardian Warjack, honestly. Like anyone who can kind of be like, I'm going to make a costume of Warjack and pull it off, kudos to them.
Yeah.
But fantastic entrance all around. Second place going to the Guardian Warjack as well, so congratulations to her. First runner-up. Fantastic work. Again, just wonderful for all of our contestants. They did such a great job this year. So let's jump back to the game now that we have seen our champions for the costume contest crowned. As Trent finally begins finishing his turn here. A last run there, and Trent slaps his clock with authority to pass the turn over to Jeremy. And one of the things I want to note is just you look at the number of models here, just the massive amount of just troops and single models to move. And yet then you look at the clock, right? And it's truly incredible how fast he was able to do that.
Yeah, he deployed and had an entire first turn of running. And not even 10 minutes?
Not even, right? And you compare that with the last game we saw where Jeremy was controlling the horde of models, and you can just see the difference in terms of how fast Trent really is, because I think Jeremy's first turn, he was still very quick and actually was able to maintain a clock edge on his opponent the entire game despite having more models. But I think it took him something like, 15 to 18 minutes on that first turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
See the Deathjack advancing forward now. Taking a look to see if it's within range of the Blood Witches to make a shot, using one of I assume Hellmouth.
Yeah, I
there.
assume he's going to be hellmouthing here. Because
So we see a boost on the damage or on the attack roll. Hellmouth does hit the first Blood Witch. And this will help cluster up a whole bunch of them for some destruction here. So you see Trent just removing those models because he knows they don't even need to roll here. And we have one more that moves forward.
They passed their command check, not fleeing from that.
So a healthy chunk of models taken out with that successful Hellmouth there. And those ones are all dead. So an excellent opening move from the Deathjack, using its advanced deploy and the bold movement of Trent's initial moves to its maximum effect. See Saxon Orc advancing now and putting reconnaissance, which will give the Styxis. So apparently they're giving it AD, so reconnaissance AD from Saxon Orc to the Styxis Raider, even though they already have, or not AD, excuse me, Pathfinder, even though they already have Pathfinder. See the Styxis Raiders now declaring a charge. Definitely short on that one, though.
No, Styxis Raiders don't have Pathfinder. They have AD and CMA.
So they do have Pathfinder.
Yeah, they get it.
Now
They get it from a good old Saxon. Good old Saxon Orc.
Apparently wasn't scared enough from that last bout against the Sacral Vault to decide to cancel his contract here.
No. Just keep showing up to fights he has no place to be at. I mean, this is what? Time warp between two Denegras?
Yeah.
Orchestrated by Haley to fight over and destroy Point Born? I mean,
Anything can happen.
Anything can literally happen.
So we have the last Styxis Raiders there just running into position.
Yep. Filling out that zone, pushing that line of engagement. That's what they're really great at.
A little trip there. Continues to move forward, keeping the leader within command range.
I love that the flags are light posts.
Got to control the light. Super important.
It is.
So despite the fact that there were charges there, none of the Styxis Raiders actually get to make any charge attacks. They were all either out or they had to run. So they're kind of just jamming the zone at this point. Here go the trees.
So yeah, they're moving the trees on that side. Yep.
Just getting right into that zone, putting as many bodies in there as he can with reach to kind of just stymie Trent's next turn. It's going to be a very up-close and personal battle for the most part between these two armies.
Now that's the unit that's got the UA, who does have Tactics Pathfinder, and that's why they're running so freely through the woods.
So the Night Wretch advancing forward, towing into that forest over there, which also has no trees on it. Deforestation again coming into play in the Iron Kingdoms.
Yep.
So the WARMACHINE walking forward. Power boost looks like Nightmare.
Wonder how conflicted Nightmare is right now.
Well, he's kind of homicidal in a way, so. I also missed who Nightmare's prey is. I don't know that they declared that initially at the start before the camera started rolling. I don't see a token on the table, but
if he did miss it, it's just lost.
Yep. That just simply goes back to what we're talking about in terms of player fatigue and keeping things in your head after a long day of intense gaming. I mean, these guys have not had an easy game at any time. Every game has been a slugfest, hard fought, and hard won. So the Black Lane's over there using their Incorporeal to good effect to just run wherever they want.
Yep.
Passing through everything. Models and terrain alike. Advancing forward. Really important to keep Blackbane as safe as possible, though. Otherwise, that unit will lose the ability to regenerate themselves. And with the number of living models on Trent's side, they actually will get a better than average chance typically than when you would see against Crix, excuse me.
I was like, whoa, they showed up too?
Yeah, they showed up too. I was actually looking off to the side. I noticed a Convergence of Cirrus army that looked quite gorgeous walking by. Distracted me.
It's all good.
So quick clarification on how the objectives work. You see Nightmare saddling right up next to his fuel objective, so he'll be able to get a free charge or run out of it the next turn if he needs to. We see
Denegra is running.
Denegra running forward, looking like she's going right for one of those flags / light posts. See Warrior Siren run and the Wither Shadow Combine finish off by running. See a quick clarification on where Denegra wound up. Or Midwinter bringing up the rear.
Yeah. He doesn't seem like he wants to be at the front of this fight.
Yeah, does he ever want to be at the front of any fight?
No.
I didn't think so. I mean, he's kind of cowardly. Advances, ends his activation. That will end Jeremy's turn. So another interesting thing to note, you're looking at the clock again.
Yeah, look how fast that was.
Fewer models, but took longer.
But it was still, yes.
Still very fast.
I mean.
But still took longer than Trent. And just given the number of, bases on that side that needs to get moved. So we see some tokens being marked here.
I don't want to take anything away from Jeremy, though. Like,
no,
the amount of stuff he had to move and the amount that he did, like, that is incredibly quick.
He was very quick.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about, top-tier level movement here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jeremy faster than your average bear.
And it's funny, something as simple as, Jeremy's got more heavies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to move Nightmare and Deathjack, which is far less models to move than, say, 2 units Statixis. But he has to probably be far more careful with those 2 models
absolutely.
than the other 2 units. Because if he loses those is a significant chunk of points.
Losing them is absolutely crippling, right? You're talking about, you saw Trent just kind of get hellmouthed and lose all the Statixis. He just kind of picked them up, didn't even care. Because look at how many others he has left to go, right?
Right, yeah. He lost with Statixis. Now he's down to, a 72-point list.
You lose Deathjack, though, and that's 12 whole points from your army just gone that you're not going to get back. And you have to make sure that it's at least reclaimed its value. See both our competitors there staring intently at the board. Jeremy using the time here that Trent has taken to consider his next moves to watch the board positioning. Trent using up his advantage on the clock here a little bit.
Hey, do you know how many players we have up in the lounge watching this live right now?
I do not.
I'd be interested to find that out.
I'm sure we have a lot of players up there riveted right now.
And
there's the drop bear making an appearance one more time.
Why did he have to leave?
I mean, I really feel like it needs that sound effect that you get with the epic gopher or squirrel or whatever it is.
No, it needs like
see the Night Wretch advancing through the forest.
An eagle screeching.
We see a shot from the Night Wretch onto one of the Statixis. Looks like it misses on double ones. It did not spend the focus, so no AoE on it. Kind of just a long shot. Might have worked, likely wouldn't have. Trent considering his next choice here. Fighting for good old Down Under, Australia.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people rooting for Trent right now. There's a lot of people rooting for Jeremy.
Yep. Yeah, it really, I mean, every time, last year's competition was incredible between Jay Larson and Jason Watt.
Yep.
It was a hard-fought game. Gorgeous armies on the table. Came right down to the wire. This game will be no different. I mean, you're looking at two players at the top of their games, honestly. They fought their way throughout several qualifier events to make it here. And just an incredible time. We see Puppet Master going on Denegra from the Wither Shadow Combine. Judge is asking for a token to mark the Puppet Master effect. So Puppet Master on Denegra.
Yep.
We'll see what
she's thinking about doing this turn.
My guess is that we're going to see a Venom coming through the Arc Node, try to clear out some of those Statixis that are trying to jam the zone.
Might throw a Crippling Grasp out there, though.
Crippling Grasp, certainly would be Puppet Master, Crippling Grasp, make sure it hits, and then Venom. She's got the focus to do it.
So that model in the upper right that you were wondering what it is, that's next to the linear objective, right by the Bane Thralls.
Yes.
You can see the Bane Thralls have the white shoulder pads. I believe that's Tartarus.
That would make sense. He's very large.
Yeah. I think I didn't get a good look at the model from here. I think Trent maybe has a custom base. It's a little hard to tell.
There's definitely like a pipe thing going on there.
Right. I think that's part of the base. Maybe we'll get a closer look at that model.
See, looks like Denegra. Is that Denegra that he just activated there? Yep, Denegra advancing backwards. See a Crippling Grasp, arced from the arc node near the linear obstacle. So we see Crippling Grasp hit the Styxis Raider. See Denegra sitting on 3 focus left after Crippling Grasping the Styxis Raiders.
Yep. Looks like the Devil Shadows and Mutineers are going to activate next.
Probably go after some of the Styxis.
I love the conversion he did on the Wither Shadow. You see the lines coming down on the puppet?
With the puppet. Yep.
Looks like that is that is a
converted Tartarus.
A converted Tartarus. You see the axe, the lower body. Yep, just a piece of piping near it. Looks like he really just changed out a little bit of the body and the head.
Yep. He just kind of got a little bit of a different example on that. So we see Zira from the Devil Shadows using those pistols to good effect. Take some shots. Eyeless sight allowing her to shoot through the forest. So we see a Styxis getting blasted in the face, and another Styxis getting blasted in the face.
Yep.
Zira doing what she does best. Which also RFPs those models. Thanks to the Bloodbound ability from the Devil Shadow. Moreland not as accurate as Zira and misses his shot with his 1 pistol. We see Iacos
Here he
advance
comes,
forward,
man.
leap. Now he's going to murder himself some Styxis as well.
Iacos just goes straight ninja mode every time Trent plays him.
This just,
like just walking around, leaping and murdering fools.
He's right up there, making attacks and just murdering things. However, he's really exposed now. It's unlikely that he's going to live through this. It's the other one. So Iacos eliminating his 2 targets and doing a good job at clearing out the zone between the Devil Shadow Mutineers, Crippling Grasp.
Hey, maybe just leaving them out as a target? I mean, that seems like a pretty...
I mean, certainly it's a juicy target. You draw in, maybe Nightmare, get a good counter on it.
Could be. Trent's got to have another plan here, though. Doesn't seem like a great trade.
So we see a curse on the Styxis unit that also has Crippling Grasp on it from Tartarus. And now we're going to see likely a charge here. And there comes Tartarus barreling in. Just super aggressive at this point. In terms of just barreling up the center, killing as much stuff as he can. Quick check of the charge lane here. Ghostly allowing Tartarus to go right over that wall. So we see the Styxis failing the command check, which is huge against Tartarus' Terror.
Wow. It's going to be really big for
Now
Jeremy.
we see a Thresher, which is going to hit 3 Styxis as well. Well, I mean, once you're Crippling Grasp, and you had a ninja like flip over and murder things, and I'd be done. It's 3 attacks, 3 kills from Styxis Raiders, and 3 Banes get put into play from Tartarus.
Wow.
So just huge swing there. Tartarus is also very exposed at this point, but for what Trent is pulling off right now, just this aggressive, very aggressive top of round 2.
Yeah, well, I think we're about to see Trent's horde swarm forward.
Well, we're going to see these newly newly generated Banes definitely make their presence known. As those Bane Thralls can activate with the unit.
Absolutely.
Unlike some other recursion mechanics and
Gorget 2 and
things,
other guys like that, yeah.
Where you might just have to forfeit your action or forfeit everything. Death Toll, just a huge swing. See the Pistol Wraith now advancing. Going to take some shots here probably.
Yep.
See Pistol Wraith using its magical weapons to shoot Black Banes, who are incorporeal at the moment, clearing them out so that those newly created Banes can go in and take out some of the things in the back.
Yep.
Black Bane Ghost Raider gets shot and killed. And misses on the second shot with a 5.
Yep.
So misses by 1.
Clears out one of them.
See the Bane Thralls getting the charge order.
Here it comes.
And here comes those 3 new Banes that got made out of those Satixis that were murdered.
Yep.
Coming in, clearing out more Satixis. Thanks to Curse, they're getting extra distance on this movement as well. So
Trent's getting...
Trent's just
he's
removing that
getting
Satixis unit.
He's getting a little bit of an alpha in here, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what Denny 2's feat wants to stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so now he's going to get to use his feet once everything gets stuck in, lower the stats, and sort of win the grind in the middle of that zone. Yeah. If all goes according to plan, but Jeremy may have some pretty good retaliation up his sleeve.
Well, the Black Banes are definitely capable of thinning out some of those Bane Thralls. Big difference there being that every Black Bane that dies killing a Bane Thrall doesn't bring back a Black Bane.
Yep.
And so there's a little bit of there's definitely a strong.
I'm surprised the Nis are even on the same side as the
the Nis haven't activated yet. Remember, Trent went first, so he did deploy not knowing where the Black Banes were going to go. And the Nis are fast enough that, honestly, it'd be very easy for them to just loop around here and come back as a second zone while the Boom Howlers go forward here. There's all kinds of different options that those guys can do with speed 7. They're just so fast. I see Trent considering what's going to happen next here after making his attack rolls and eliminating several more Satixis Raiders thanks to those newly minted Bane Thralls. Next up, we see Crippling Grasp going on. Nope, wait. Sorry. So quick confirmation on the defense of that remaining Satixis Raider. Mm-hmm. Between Crippling Grasp and going back up into the forest, her defense basically goes back to its normal level.
Derek Wraith is going to advance.
See Derek Wraith, yep.
Yep, needs to fix that model placement.
Looks like we see a Hellfire?
Yeah.
Tough shot.
Got it, though.
Does hit.
Remember, they're Crippling Grasped.
But she was in the forest.
She was in the forest. It basically evens back out.
It bounced back out. And that is the unit with the UA, correct? But, of course, Force Barrier doesn't matter against magic attacks. Just ranged. See the Necrotech, or the Necrosurgeon and Stitch Trolls. I keep wanting to call them Necrotechs all day today. I don't know why.
This is Dougal McNeil that walked up and made the shot with the shot. Yeah, the quad guns. Just couldn't tell exactly what model that was.
Missed on the first shot. That was a tough shot for Dougal, and one of the things Trent's mentioned was that he didn't realize that he didn't account for the forest bouncing the defense back up to 16.
So it looks like the Boom Howlers are receiving the charge order.
Yep. I mean, your assessment on the Alpha Strike here is absolutely accurate. You see Trent getting as far forward past the middle of the table.
Yep.
And he's just going to force the issue with the feet. Doesn't matter if he's not going to be able to advance next turn. I mean, honestly, -3 defense against this army that Trent's playing, it doesn't really matter. He's not relying very heavily on super high defenses to save him. Unlike something, the Nis would obviously care. They definitely do play to the defense itself. But Boom Howlers, Def 12 going down to Def 9, sure you hit a little easier, but with the models in Jeremy's list, they already have decent mats, especially when you consider a Crix army. Specifically, you don't have mat 5 Mechanithralls running at you. See the charge attack rolls being made here. So we have Rage Howler happening from Boom Howler, which is one we saw him use in his game against Jamie Perkins to affect the
Conquest.
Warjacks.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely going to.
This time it's going to affect Nightmare.
And there's a burrow marker over there, right behind Nightmare. So
we see a miss from one Boom Howler against a Statixis. So not an amazing showing from Boom Howler's boys, but they've stuffed up the zone a little bit.
Yep.
So we see a swing on a Statixis, does hit. So out of all those charge attacks, one manages to connect and take out a Statixis. And Rage Howler is up.
Scarlock's going to advance. He's going to Ghost Walk all the Mechanothralls, and then here they come.
So the Mechanothrall's going, getting in there. The Brute Thralls being able to charge successfully against the Deathjack.
Was it a charge or was it just a run?
I
guess we'll find out in a second if he starts rolling dice.
It makes sense that it was a run, although it's possible it was a charge. I missed the declaration because there was an announcement over the PA in the events hall about token aggression.
Yep.
One of the many fun competitive events that we have going on this weekend, in addition to our World Championship happening right now.
Do you like RNG? If so, token aggression.
So yeah, they just
So it was just a run. Yeah, it didn't look like it was close enough for that to be a charge.
Brute Thralls have just run to engage the Deathjacks to tie it up for a turn.
And no souls there to be gathered for any sort of healing.
No. See the reduced Blood Witches simply advancing up the side. We see the Necrosurgeon and Stitch Thralls on that side. Running to reposition. Falling over off the hill, the terraced hill. Getting ready to reclaim some of those Boom Howler bodies if necessary. Nis Hunters activate now. We'll get to see where they're going to wind up going. We see one aim and then a bunch.
The three
advance.
in front are aiming.
Yeah, three in front.
Yeah. I think we got a big CRA coming.
At what, though? One of the remaining Statixis, I suppose?
Yep.
You see single shots on the Statixis, though.
Interesting.
First one hits and eliminates it, and that pretty much ends what they can shoot at.
Maybe they'll start shooting at the lamppost because, I mean, A, it's not legal, and B, it's funny.
Yeah, sure. See the Night Wretch now advancing over. Warwitch Siren advancing up. And that will end Trent's turn. So,
all right, so 25 minutes approximately into Trent's turn. He's taking 2 turns.
Definitely took a little while on that one.
Nope, Jeremy and Trent both have good mastery of the clock. You can see it here.
I mean, you just see the, there were guys all in here, and now there are no guys but Trent's.
Right.
Like, it was a great alpha strike here. So you see 4 focus being allocated.
I would not be surprised if this is the Denegra 2 feet turn.
Oh, absolutely. I think, at this point you're looking at Denegra with proper placement. She's going to be able to get most of this stuff in here, and it's going to be great in terms of just slowing Trent down, who's already made good progress on the board. The problem is, though, is that he's so far past the center line now that is it going to make, is it going to be enough? Trent really wants Jeremy apparently to kill Iacos. Really trying to push the bait there. So it seems like put that juicy target out.
Looks like Trent, Trent's had, like as we said, he stayed till 7 o'clock in the morning.
Iacos is right here.
Playing at a team tournament, right?
Get me.
But it looks like midway through the game, he's really picking up. His blood's pumping. Like he's ready for this.
Come get me. Well, like you said, he's got a huge crowd back home.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you drawing while I was talking?
I was.
Okay,
yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. No, I mean,
he's got a huge crowd back home that really wants him to bring home the World Championship trophy to any nation is going to be a huge deal.
Absolutely.
And like honestly, here's the guy. Here's the guy who wants to bait. Like here's the fish hook. Draw a little fish hook for you. There's the fish hook. Just wants to bait him in. Just fish hook in. Just
that's a fish hook.
Get him. Yeah, it's a fish hook.
No, I don't know what.
It's bait.
And you won't give me the telestrator? Can you imagine
Takes
what
finer motor skills than you.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I guess that's legitimate. Thanks for being hurtful.
So we see Denegger going incorporeal this turn.
All right. No surprises there.
Yep. Especially if you're going to pop her feet. I mean, you use Wraithwalker to go incorporeal on this turn. You're going to feet.
I have to assume she's going to advance to a pretty decent position.
See the Helldiver burrowing forward. Helldiver just burrows again, though. Doesn't reveal itself. It's right next to Iacos, though.
He doesn't care.
Iacos or the Helldiver?
The Iacos, he doesn't care.
Oh.
If he's not dead this turn, he's going to be leaping all over the place. He won't be near that thing.
So Jeremy, considering now what he's going to do with the Deathjack, who's engaged by the Brute Thralls. So you see him turning the Deathjack around there just to better be able to get in position so the hands aren't in the way. See, claw attack first in the first Brute Thrall. Definitely connects, no problem.
Well, no doubt. And just
just
murders
absolutely
it.
rips him apart.
Yeah.
And the other Brute Thrall taken out just as easily with another swipe of the second claw.
Jeremy not having any of those dice problems that he was having last round.
Looks like we're going to see a spell now from... we see a spell cast now from the Deathjack. So see a boosted Hellmouth again.
Yeah.
So we see Trent confirming the distance pulled in. And just a reminder that we'd also like to thank Geek and Sundry for broadcasting the Lock and Load Twitch streams. If you're watching and new to the Privateer Press Twitch stream, we hope you'll follow our channel. We'll be giving a free Privateer Press pin to one of our followers in chat when we hit 2,900 followers. So thank you again to Geek and Sundry for doing that, and for all of you guys out there watching, whether you're new to the game or existing to the game. Greatly appreciate it. We see the Hellmouth moves being made now, dragging everything in.
Hellmouth is going to be a brutal spell against Trent every single time it's cast. So they're just checking. Picking up that one Mechanthrall to see if it caught any of the other models. It's a little difficult to see with how closely packed everything is.
Quick decision of as to where models are going to stop, which does matter.
Yep.
As anything under that AoE is basically going to be destroyed.
I like that the Deathjack is advancing backwards. You know.
Yep. Well, he had to turn around so they could, rip apart those Brute Thralls. So you see, is that the? It looked like the Necrosurgeon actually just got.
No, that was the Scarlet Commander.
Scarlet Commander that got destroyed. Okay.
Saw the back of Travis Mark's head there momentarily. So just another huge swath of Mechanthralls ripped apart by Hellmouth.
Yep. Hellmouth being very useful against such a large group of single wound models.
How many models do you think were on the table at the start of this?
Over 60 at least.
Oh, over 100.
Oh, you mean for both sides?
Yeah, total on the table.
Total? 160?
Wow.
Maybe less. Maybe 150. See Jeremy
That's what happened when
advancing a
Crick
Warwitch
says
Siren and power boosting the Night Wretch.
when Crick says they have a civil war in the middle of a nice city.
See Jeremy activating his Blood Witches, giving them the charge order. See a quick check here. So we're quickly looking at Rage Howler, it looks like. So you see a precision measurement happening here.
Oh, we got judges coming out of everywhere. Tim's in this, Matt's in that, Travis is in this. They'll figure out what's going on.
So they needed to take a command check, it looks like, from Rage Howler from last turn.
Ah.
So we have a charge order now on the Styxus now that Rage Howler was finished. We see the Bloodhag giving the mini feed order to give them Incorporeal. They benefit from, so we see a run there.
Yep. So the end of this activation, they're all going to turn into ghosts. See how that works out for them.
Definitely more useful in this match than it would have been in Jeremy's previous match, where he was facing down a load of Hex Hunters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Trent certainly has a lot of bodies, but he doesn't have a ton of available magic attacks. He's got Dark Wraith, he's got the Wither Shadow, he's got Denegra. He's not
got the
low
Scarlock,
on him. He's got
right?
the Pistol Wraith as well.
Right. Like, Scarlock being able to Venom
Mm-hmm.
is going to be very useful, especially if he decides to feat, but I doubt he will right now. We'll see, though.
Well, it's unlikely. I would expect the feat to be unlikely.
Actually, I take that back. I think on Trent's next turn, depending on what happens here, I think Trent will be feeding. The more I look at the table and the board position. We'll see, though. We've seen that Trent is not scared to play Denegra aggressively and forward. If the situation calls for it. You know, he's not going to run out there blindly and get her killed.
I mean, at the moment, right, what does countering with, if Jeremy pulls the feat here, which we expect him to do, what does counter feeding at that point really net you? It lowers the mat and the speed necessarily.
It's a denial feat after a denial feat.
Yeah.
So he shuts you down for a turn, then you walk him and say, okay, great. I couldn't do anything. You couldn't do anything. I swing tempo back to myself so that I get a turn. The only problem is that Jeremy's feat literally says, don't move, don't do anything. And Denegra 1's feat, Trent's feat says, okay, the chances of you doing anything meaningful are incredibly low.
Right.
So,
I mean, but that's the thing, right? You're sacrificing half of Denegra's feat at that point, in my opinion. You're losing the offensive potential purely for defensive potential. And I don't know if Trent's going to make that choice.
I don't know. We'll see. I think getting the tempo back in your ball or in your court is super important in this game.
See a Styxus attacking a Boom Howler. Failing to crack his armor, it looks like.
Yep.
Second Styxus attacking a Boom Howler.
Looks like they're hitting, just not breaking that armor.
Yep.
There's one.
And he does make his tough roll. So we see Necrosurgeon picking up the corpse token from the Boom Howler. Canthrell's going. Jeremy considering where he's going to go next. Quick clarification on how Trent is keeping his different units different.
Yeah, I think specifically the Necrosurgeon units, and he was just pointing the different heads and saying they've got different colored heads. Something as simple as that.
As long as it's visible and consistent.
That's why I like painted models so much. I mean, we all started somewhere, right? But like, when you have multiple units with unpainted models, it can get really confusing.
Yes.
Very
all
confusing.
look the same. So you see the Night Wretch running forward using the focus that was given to it by the Warwitch Siren earlier from Power Booster.
Okay. So Denny's obviously planning for probably another. Let's see. She allocated 4. So she's not
hellmouthing.
She's not hellmouthing. For some reason, I thought for a second maybe she had allocated 3 and he cast it without boosting.
See an attack on Boom Howler.
Yep, Saxon Orc walked up, pulled out a hunting rifle, said, "This fight's insane. I have to get out of the city," and shot somebody in the face.
Yep, shot a Boom Howler and Co. in the face. Orc not needing to use his reconnaissance ability this turn.
Remind me, Saxon Orc, he's standing on a Trollkin head, isn't he? Like the model?
He's standing on a head of something. Might be a Trollkin.
It's Victor Pendrick standing on like the Gorax head, and Victor
Pendrick is standing on a rock, man. In the artwork, he might be standing on a Gorax head, but
I thought the model he's standing on the Gorax
I
head.
don't think so. It's a tiny Gorax head, if that's it. He was just really killing baby Goraxes.
Well, this was Victor Pendrake,
Victor
baby
Pen-
Gorax
yeah.
murderer.
Yeah.
Just running around being like,
It doesn't really sound like,
I can't stand these things. But all they do is just yell and scream. They smell awful.
It doesn't exactly sound like the actions of a, a conservationist man.
Is he a conservationist? I thought he was just a
mostly.
madman.
No, well, he's a madman for sure. But
Right.
I don't think killing baby Goraxes is really what you want to be known for.
So if like dogs are puppies, right? A baby dog is a puppy. What's a baby Gorax called?
A Goraxi.
A Goraxi?
Yeah. So we see a hit. So we see an attack made against the engaged Styxis, which then misses and is forced to make the roll against the Styxis Raider engaged with the original target model, but that attack also misses due to concealment engagement. You see another attack roll. It's a Boom Howler. So need an 11 to hit there, and that also misses as well. So our judge is making sure to keep everything straight in line with the declarations and making sure that everything is being added up correctly. Asking for a marker here. Make sure that all of the effects on the table are clearly marked and present. See Tim Banky, our judge, over there over Trent's shoulder.
Yep. We've got Matt Clark over on Jeremy's side. And Travis is sort of just running circles around the table, checking all angles.
You see his arm. You see Travis's arm being pointing in every once in a while.
Yeah.
So see another War Witch Siren move in, Power Boost Nightmare.
Night
Power
Wretch.
Boost Night Wretch.
Yep.
So see Night Wretch likely, just advance. Going to take a shot on Iacos. So he's taking the bait just with the wrong model. He does hit. POW 14 here. And Iacos is exploded.
Good old boxcars will solve most problems.
So goodbye, Iacos. Trent said he specifically wanted to bait Jeremy into killing Iacos. I don't know if that's what he wanted necessarily. See Nightmare activate in advance. He's attacking a Boom Howler.
Yep. He's going to rip this thing to shreds. Maybe.
Yep.
Yep.
So see him eliminated there as he was already knocked down, it looks like.
Did Trent forget his tough roll?
I don't think so. Maybe he did.
Or maybe we're missing something where he's not getting the tough. Where's the Blood Hag with Entropic Force?
The Blood Hag might be within range, and that might have been what did it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of at the moment that would be stopping that tough.
Yep. No, it's a good call. We see right now our players discussing placement on the Boom Howlers. Trying to figure out where everything is. Looks like is this another Hellmouth? Not entirely sure. So it must be another Hellmouth here. So we see some fast dice rolling here from Jeremy.
So there is. We see the Blood Hag right there, and he's asking to check range for Entropic Force. So that's why the tough rolls were gone.
So three Boom Howlers and Macanthrall die. So Boom Howlers need to make a command check, and they pass.
Okay.
So that was Negra casting a Hellmouth because she did have enough focus on her to be able to do that. She only allocated 2 to the Deathjack. So she's within 7 inches of the flag. And no feet.
Over that domination.
So clearly saving the feet for when she gets to dominate the flag. Oh, the flag's only worth 1.
You can lock it down, though. Lock it down, pop feet.
Lock it down, that's 2.
So you lock it down,
3.
right? You pop feet. It's 2. Then back to you is 3.
Yeah. It's a good swing.
Then if you can blow up the objective, it's 4.
Yeah.
And while all this is happening. The 5th one is just where you got to figure out how you're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, Jeremy's done a great job of clearing out a lot of Trent's models on that flank, though, through multiple Hellmouths at this point.
Yeah. And I thought about it earlier when we were thinking about the death check and how much focus got allocated. For some reason in my brain, I was like, it needs 4 to cast it. So Denegra must have allocated it 4 so she can't cast it. And I was like, it's been a long day, gentlemen and ladies here at Lock and Load, and that's why my brain isn't doing math or remembering simple rules. Like, you can't allocate 4 focus.
Let's be honest, your brain is never really good at math.
Never really working at math.
Yeah. See the Blackbanes moving in to make some I believe charge attack rolls against
some Bane Thralls.
Bane Thralls.
I think also just running to gum them all up too.
Well, I mean, if the plan is to try to lock down that flag and use the feet to guarantee a 3-point swing, you absolutely want to tie up as much as possible up there. And the Bane Thralls really can't deal with Incorporeal.
So,
see, Orin Midwinter advance and do Null Magic. It's interesting to me, though, that he decided to Wraithwalker Denegra this turn when he basically advanced her behind a linear obstacle. I think because he's not going to be able to do it next turn, and if next turn's when he makes his play for the flag, even with the feet up.
So Trent just started counting how many models are standing in the zone. Going 1, 2, and 3. So looks like he's got a Statixis. He's got Nightmare, and he's got the objective. It'll be interesting to see if Trent has a play here that lets him clear those 3 models, destroy the objective, that gets him 1, and then dominate, which would get him 2.
Yep.
And then if he feats on everything around him and goes that route. I don't see a line that particularly leads that route, but Trent Denison is a much better player than I am. So.
Well, and we saw Trent earlier today in his game against Jamie use Denegra's feet in a very aggressive manner to try to win on scenario. He has a good eye for seeing those plays where he can go up on points very quickly and kind of block out his opponents. You know, all things considered, with the withering up, with a potential crippling grasp on Nightmare, I mean, he can bring down Nightmare fairly quickly. I see Power Booster from the Warwitch Siren being put onto one of the Night Wretches.
Thing is that he gets up that close, and there's going to be a Helldiver popping up right next to him.
Yeah.
Who doesn't care about feet at all?
No.
So it
looks
looks
like
like
crippling grasp being upkept.
Yep. Kept for free because the Wither Shadow.
So we see the power boosted Night Wretch running. Through that forest there, so slowing it down quite a bit. Moving right next to that Helldiver burrow marker. Negra measuring her control range. Trent considering if he's going to continue to move the Night Wretch the remainder of its movement. Staying out of Nightmare's melee range. Into stealth range as well. So that he can make sure to hit Nightmare with what he needs to.
Well, Orin's got Null Magic up, right? So he can't cast spells while within 12 inches of Orin, but he can channel them.
So you see the players on the table there. That Night Wretch valiantly racing forward. So Ghostly will make Tartarus immune to free strikes, which means that he'll be able to go through the Incorporeal Blackbanes and basically freedom. So the Incorporeal is going to work against Jeremy on that. Tartarus getting in there and threshing against all those targets.
It's not going to be pretty.
I mean, that could be the swing you're really looking for. if you can put some other damage on that stuff. Because obviously Tartarus can't do it alone with one attack, but... So you see Macanthrall getting promoted to the leader. Happened last turn after the Scarlock Commander was destroyed. So right now, we have this Banethrall in the way, but if you eliminate him, Tartarus has a nice clear path right to here, which puts him in Thresher range of all that stuff. The objective, the Styxis, everything.
Well, if they're running that as a forest, though, which I believe they are.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He doesn't have line of sight.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because the trees are gone.
The deforestation of the Iron Kingdoms.
Yeah. So taking Tartarus out of that. Banethrall here could definitely do it. It looks like these two Banethralls, too, might have line of sight right to here. So that would give him 3 Banethralls. That could potentially get in there.
Maybe.
Cap that off with Boom Howler and stuff over here. Going forward, you got a Pistol Wraith that can potentially get in there and make some shots. He has a lot of threat. I mean, he has a lot of threat options, but does the aggregate of all of it equal a dead Nightmare, a dead Objective, and a dead Styxis?
We'll see. And Trent could be thinking something completely different.
He absolutely could.
You know,
one of the things about
we see like Tartarus charge with Tartarus and kill things, but like who knows what level he's on right now.
Well, one of the things too is that your perception is entirely different when you're actually at the table, right?
Of course.
You see things differently. You obviously don't get as many angles to confuse you as well as to inform you. You're in the moment. You're weighing your decisions a little differently. So you see Trent kind of tapping his fingers there, considering with the dice in his hand what he wants to do next.
Just tearing up that beautiful board we built. I'm kidding.
It's sturdier than that.
Oh, I know. I know.
So you see a feat token on the board.
Yep.
So did Denegra feat last turn?
I have to imagine.
Must just miss that call. However, the feat token's not by Denegra.
Oh, you know what that is?
It's the mini feat.
That's the mini feat on the which we talked about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. It was real confusing for a second.
That makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough.
Yeah?
Yeah. So we have the Necrosurgeon and Stitch Thrall's advance.
Yep.
Probably going to see some Macanthrals. Oh,
oof.
That's not good.
Oof.
We're going to replace those models as best you can. Go. Advancement here. Dropping back a little bit with those guys. See Denegra in their position on the hill.
And he's positioning them around the armory objective, which has critical asset. I'm sorry, asset protection. So if it were to die, he can sack another model within 4 inches of it. So basically, Trent's saying, you're not killing this thing.
Not without killing my tiny little body carriers first.
Yeah. My creepy guys that carry body parts in sacks and run around the battlefield making weird chittering noises.
There's nothing creepy about that. That is absolutely normal.
This commentary is getting real dark between this and the whole Victor Pendrake baby Gorax thing.
Look, you brought up the baby Gorax thing. I simply pointed out that's probably not appropriate for a guy who loves nature.
You know, the best part is that this is all going to be recorded, so I get to go back and see who brought up the killing baby Gorax's part.
Oh, I brought it up because you mentioned that he's standing on a Gorax head. I said the Gorax head's real small.
He is standing on a Gorax head.
So it's got to be a baby. It's got to be a baby Gorax. Normal Gorax head real big. That head real small. See Denegra advancing forward. And we see a Scourge on the objective.
Oh, nice. He knocked down all the jacks around him. So doesn't need snake eyes.
That looks fine. So that will hit. The Scourge does connect with the objective. That'll also looks like it gets Orin too.
Yup.
It's a nice spread of models, all knocked down, all going to take some damage from Scourge. Just see a couple damage to the 2 on the Night Wretch. The objective takes some damage. Not enough to kill it, but enough to do some significant destruction.
Yeah.
See the feat happen from Denegra. The feat coin goes down from the Iron Gauntlet.
There it is. I had a feeling he was going to feed on this turn, especially if the other Denny didn't. So
We see a Parasite, it looks like. Double ones means the Parasite misses. Oh, that is
Snake
just
eyes.
rough.
What is it with Trent? And every time was that targeted the objective? Like, he has the worst luck when he's fighting objectives.
It doesn't matter. I mean, targeted the objective or Nightmare. Either way, it's still.
But no, like the last game we had him on live stream when everyone was shooting at the objective and just nothing would happen.
Nothing could hit. See some shots into Nightmare. So, of course, hits because Nightmare is knocked down. And we see 1 point to 2. So not exactly what Trent's hoping for here against Nightmare. You see that right there. Cluster of knocked down models as well as the objective. Orin was out of the Scourge effect. See Trent holding the tape measure there and considering after making some ineffectual shots on Nightmare.
It's rough.
Yep. He really needs this play to pay off in some manner here. And thus far, he hasn't quite gotten what he needs. It's the Wither Shadow Combine advancing forward. See a Darkfire being fired at one of the Statixis. I believe that's just a Raider there.
Yep.
Does hit and removes that Statixis easy enough, giving a soul token. Trent considering his next move here. Doesn't look like he puppet mastered anything.
No, it's still the Wither Shadow's activation, though.
No, I think he's done. He's now declaring a charge with Tartarus against the Night Wretch. So cutting right across there. So we see Warwitch Siren needing to make a command check.
Yep.
It's going to likely really mess up that Night Wretch.
Oh, yeah. It
has the potential to one-shot it. So, see dice +1 here on the shot against the Night Wretch.
Yep. We've got 20 boxes, so he needs to roll a 19 on 4 dice.
So 14 damage to the 2. So significant, but not quite enough to one-round it. Wow. So he does manage to kill the Warwitch Siren, which allows him to make a Bane Thrall.
And 14, the 2 on a Night Wretch, that's going to knock out Cortex and Arc Node.
Yeah.
So
everything you kind of want right there. And the objective is destroyed by the Thresher attack, which is a big deal.
So they were just asking, this is the fuel cache, and what happens after he hits it and destroys it. Whether or not he was caught on fire. But he destroyed it in one hit.
Yeah. No,
so
it does not burn.
Doesn't matter. Sometimes you punch a gas can and it just dies.
Usually when you punch a gas can, it just, doesn't do anything.
Well, you never punched a gas can in the Iron Kingdoms.
That's true. The gas cans in the Iron Kingdoms are clearly very dangerous. So that puts Trent up by 1 point here.
Yep.
So Bane Thrall unit does not have Ghost Walk currently, which might matter a little bit for them going after the Nightmare, but I don't really think it does. I mean, they're close enough now that...
The Devil Shadow Mutineers are walking up, and then things are about to get interesting.
Well, maybe. Like you said, he had some rough luck with the Devil Shadow Mutineer in his previous game with Jamie.
Well, that's just because they kept dying and coming back.
He also missed a lot.
Like
he rolled a lot of snake eyes.
Oh no, only against the objective. The objective's gone now,
true.
so these boys are going to start shining.
Yeah, just gonna make it happen.
Just
see an advance into the forest.
Yep.
It looks like it's 0.
Mm-hmm.
So Moreland right up in the action. 0 hanging out in the forest to be able to shoot stuff, and Mar well in the background. Some shots here. Trying to pick out I believe, Satixis at this point. So he also money shotted them.
Yep. Money shot from rock bottom.
Thinking about his weapon master attack here with 0 on her pistols. Just incredible. So hits and kills. Satixis.
Because the key thing about Zero's pistols is they're magical.
Yep.
So the whole incorporeal, irrelevant.
So we see the
Night Wretch taken out by the other pistol shot. And then checking range for Moreland's regular pistol.
I believe this is... So Moreland killed the Styxis, and Zira killed the Night Wretch. Now she's taking a shot at...
oh, is it? Okay.
She's taking a shot at Nightmare.
Got it. No, one of them was shooting at Nightmare.
Yep. Yep, that would be Zira based on his check for line of sight. So dealing a decent chunk of damage to Nightmare. Just needs to get rid of Nightmare, and then he's got that zone dominated. See the Scarlock Thrall advancing, likely going to Ghost Walk the Bane Thralls, which he does. And we will see a charge from the Bane Thralls now, letting them ignore the forest difficult terrain. So those two definitely going after Nightmare, as they can see him.
Yep. So even though the Parasite missed, that feet's up. You got Dark Shroud.
Yeah.
It's a big armor swing right there, and I guess he's hoping to two-shot Nightmare with a pair of Bane Thralls.
Gonna be tough. So we see the other thing that he has to be cognizant of too here is that he's got to make sure that the unit commander is going to keep those two Bane Thralls in command range.
Well, I mean, honestly, they can't take free strikes when Ghost Walked.
They cannot take free strikes when Ghost Walked.
So
he's got a lot of freedom here.
Yeah, he can just run wherever he needs to go. Like I'm sure Trent kind of already thought about that.
He's got. It looks like the commander just got up there, so he'll be fine. But it's one of the things about. Oh, he just remembered it. He actually forgot it because Trent was expecting a free strike there, and Travis actually reminded him that he's Ghost Walked, so no free strikes.
The Bane's
just running into the center.
Yep.
Just making their way. Quick check on that banner to make sure that it's staying within range as well.
Yep.
So, it's funny to think that Bane Thrall unit started at a min unit, and now it has more models than you can start with in a max unit.
All right. I'm looking at these charges on Nightmares. That was the charge on Styxis. So, that thing dies. Command check's fine.
Yep.
Shots on Nightmare.
Here's the important ones. They hit auto.
Yep.
See Trent switching over the time. That was a huge hit.
Yep.
You just see the massive marks of black there. All right, this one's going to be for all the marbles. And Nightmare is
down.
Two-shotted. Well, with a little bit of help from his friends. But regardless. So Nightmare's out. Trent performing very well here on this alpha. Second alpha of the game, really.
So with Denegra in the zone, it's like I was talking about earlier. Objectives destroyed.
Yep.
He's going to dominate for 2, and he's got feet up.
Yep.
So now it's back to Jeremy to fix this problem.
He really just has to worry about these models here and potentially this one. And then, of course, Blackbanes, who are outside the feet, which isn't going to be many. Maybe these up here. And obviously these two here. That can kind of run in and contest the zone, but are unlikely to be able to really do anything to him.
Right.
So some very aggressive and rewarding play for Trent.
Seems to be Trent's MO, right?
Yep.
Get real aggro with Denny. It pays off for him.
I think a lot of people don't expect that play from Denegra, though. You don't typically see her being quite as aggressive as Trent plays with her. So we see the Blood Witches now on his side. So having to deal with the incorporeal Blood Witches from the other side. Or maybe not. Looks like he pointed at the Blood Witches, but he's not doing the Blood Witches. Those look like the Necrosurgeon and Stitch Thralls. Is that the Mechanothrall unit? I can't quite tell from this angle. It's the Mechanothrall unit, it looks like, that's going right now.
Yeah.
Still has Boom Howlers to go as well.
Yep. Dougal McNail just chilling up there with his quad iron and his telescope.
Just waiting.
So, yes, it is the Necrosurgeon going right now, making some more
Yep.
Mechanthralls just to charge deeper in the line.
Tie everything up.
Let's see. Yep, and there's a good look at Denny standing in front of her objective. So, we see Trent go for these big aggro plays on getting some quick scenario points and really locking the table down. And he's doing a good job of it right now.
Now we see those Blood Witches charging in, attacking using their magical weapons to good effect with their Blood Razors to be able to attack their incorporeal counterparts.
Yep.
See a hit and then a Blood Burst, or missed. I think he said Blood Burst, but I believe he meant Death Strike. Yeah, that was a Death Strike, not a Blood Burst, which is not even a thing they can do.
Yeah, Blood Burst is
that's
the Circle Tharn,
yeah,
Blood Weavers.
Blood Weavers.
So
similar
clearly,
but different.
Clearly, he was not trying to do a thing that does not exist in this faction.
Yeah, no, it was very clearly a Death Strike after you saw him resolve it. Mechanothrall's now going. So they're charging in against that other Night Wretch.
Yep.
Unable to really affect the Blood Hag at this point because of her incorporeal status.
Whoop. Mechanothrall just sliding on his face.
That's all right. He's up. He's okay. Nobody saw it.
As soon as I said that, I was reminded by Valachev getting punched in the back of the head by the Conquest ineffectually.
I don't know if it's a punch on a Power Strike. I'm pretty sure Power Strike is a kick.
Is it a kick?
In my world, it is.
So the Conquest
just punted him.
Just kicked Valachev in the back of the head.
Just punted him.
No, just kicked him in the back of the head. He just slid face first across the ground, bloody.
Yeah. Power Strike's a punt, man.
I don't know. I like it as just a punch.
That's not as good.
Like a Bruce Lee 1-inch punch from a Conquest. Just, and the guy goes flying.
I don't know that he went flying so much as he just turned into a red mist right when the fist connected.
He just slid Denny's feet. She's like, why? I don't even understand anymore. The point is,
she understood perfectly.
Iron Gauntlet 2015 has taught us that the Conquest hates Valachev, and that war has been going on for years.
Clearly. Derek Wraith advancing around the objective, getting right into the center of the zone as well.
Conquest typically wins.
I'm assuming that... Derek Wraith using Hellfire here.
Oh, yeah, why not? She's incorporeal, chilling in the woods.
I somewhat expected that he would use Beyond Death, given the fact that the Styxes are living models and would be affected by it. But Hellfire against the woods.
No, I
clearly missed. So Night Wretch activating, advancing back.
I also don't think that Blood Witch is in the zone, right? So I don't think it was super important.
So now the Nis are going to go.
And
They're
here we
basically just
go.
gonna go right into the zone.
It's that pile into the zone
Yep.
that I was talking about at the beginning of the game, right? Just get it clear, pile in.
Get everything right here.
Yep. And
Everything.
everything. And just get hellmouth.
Looks like a potato.
Like, hope. He has to be careful with that hellmouth because. Now let's see what.
So 14 inches on a run.
I'm trying to see what arc nodes Jeremy's Wraith Witch has that can pull off some of these hellmouth and clear out some of that zone.
So Trent finishes his turn. There's a quick measurement on Denegra's control area to show Jeremy what was affected by the withering. Saxon Auric apparently is the limit of the feat. So everything within that.
Would you say that Saxon is pushing it to the limit?
I'd say Saxon has been, on a highway to the danger zone.
Would you say that he's walked along the razor's edge?
Nah, highway to the danger zone.
Highway. Okay.
Kenny Loggins,
I-
born in Everett, Washington.
Oh, I only know Kenny Loggins from Archer.
Well, born in Everett, Washington.
All right.
He's a local boy. So obviously, under the withering, those models are going to suffer -2 to their speed, strength, mat, rat, def, arm, and focus, and they're not going to be able to run or make special attacks.
Just everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Everything that matters.
And I believe was Denny too affected by that? Wraith Witch?
Oh, if you said Saxon Auric was the limit,
Saxon Auric is what they said
Okay,
was the limit.
where's Saxon rocking at this fight?
Saxon, I believe Saxon's right here. But I could be wrong about that. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle.
Oh, no, I see. Saxon's right behind Orin Midwinter, like directly behind him.
So Saxon's right here.
Yeah,
So
you can see the pose and everything. So if he's the
for
limit,
feet.
then I have to think Denegra is. She can't be in feet. There's no way. It just doesn't add up.
So we definitely see Jeremy measuring his control area and considering here. And we do know where the prey token, it looks like it was on the Nis.
Huh.
Because they just removed the token from
Yep. So
the board.
there's Orin, there's Saxon, there's the Wither Shadow.
Those two boss Bane Thralls, one of which was previously a War Witch Siren.
Got to give Trent some props here. His models look great.
Some very handy conversion work, great paint scheme. Using that bone color to offset the purple, complementary.
Oh, I don't know anything about all that, but it looks great.
You're a paint by numbers kind of guy.
I'm a paint by money to someone else kind of guy.
No, that's not true. You started painting your own models.
I have.
You're finally taking your first step into a larger world.
I have. You guys have finally convinced me, and I'm actually enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the hobby.
Ha!
I do. I like it. It's fun.
I know.
Painting things are fun.
Just saying, we were right. Here comes that hell diver.
Yup.
Right out
Oh,
of
is that the
ground.
noise they make when they come out?
Yeah.
Lock and Load 2015, everyone.
I have it on good authority. I speak to Doug Seacat regularly.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Doug later. He's going to deny it.
He'll agree.
Okay, so now it's time to
Dougal
play
McNeil.
the how many things can get jammed into this zone by Jeremy game. And then Denegra 2 clearly feats to stop the Banes and other things from trying to charge and kill the things he jams in there. And how does Trent respond? So I think that's how we're going to see things play out over the next couple turns.
So Trent obviously did successfully dominate the zone last turn, so he is at 3 currently.
As far as I'm aware, unless there's something we missed, he should be at 3.
Thanks to the Bane Thralls able to take out Nightmare A huge charge from Tartarus, obviously.
Yep. I mean, the only thing I can think of that wouldn't be the case is if that one little Styx's blood hag or the blood witch at the bottom is in the zone, but it doesn't look like it at all.
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think she is.
Trent had so many remaining activations. I'm sure if she was in, he would have taken care of it.
He had to have dominated. There's no reason for Denny to be standing in the zone otherwise, right? So.
Yeah.
Now I've got Danger Zone in my head, by the way.
That's a great song to have in your head.
I guess. Is that Danger Zone?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the start to it, man.
Maybe I've got Fraggle Rock stuck in my head then.
Fraggle Rock?
Yeah.
Those two songs are not similar at all.
I understand.
They are polar opposites. One is about weird Muppets that live in the earth, and the other one is about badass Top Gun pilots.
Are you dissing Fraggle Rock?
Yes.
Oh, man.
In comparison to Top Gun, I feel like Fraggle Rock does not deserve the same mention.
What are you talking about?
There's no volleyball scene in Fraggle Rock, my friend. Windmill high fives.
The little construction guys and all their stuff was made out of, like, candy and they would eat it all the time? Come on, Fraggle Rock.
No. We're done here.
We are done here.
So Jeremy, considering his turn here, definitely stymied down by Denegra's feat, the Withering. And just Trent's impressive series of turns. I mean, he's had 2 turns consecutively where he's just pushed straight forward in a very aggressive posture and managed to pull out exactly what he wanted for the most part, completely whittling down Jeremy's army. We talked about how much of a big swing losing a single Warjack like Nightmare or the Deathjack would have to Jeremy as opposed to losing several models on Trent's side.
Yep.
Nightmare made its presence felt not at all in this game, which makes it even worse.
Yeah.
So you're really in damage control. You're in crisis mode here. How do I come back from this? And being three down is also just huge.
Yeah, Nightmare this whole game. He walked up, killed a Boomhowler, I believe?
Yep.
And then
got murdered.
Got wrecked Chili Winters style by
Wow.
Get wrecked. That's his thing.
Yeah, no, I got it. Got it.
Little joke there. Little joke.
So Jeremy's
in the tank, man.
Losing a lot of time here as he considers what he needs to do. To his benefit, I suppose, he's got a lot fewer models to deal with here.
He's got 10 more minutes than Trent.
Yep.
But, yeah, completely in the tank, right? Like, the Black Banes, they can't even run, okay?
Nope.
And because of Denegra's feet.
I don't think all the Black Banes were caught by it, though.
But the ones that are far enough out, their speed isn't high enough that they can run in the zone.
They're definitely slow.
And so Black Banes are speed 5 or 6.
I mean,
they're... Remind me, it's been a while.
I believe that they're speed 6.
So I don't even know if that one guy can even just walk over. They're speed 7.
Speed 7, they're really fast.
So, maybe I'm a little off there. Maybe the one that's now speed effective 5 can just...
He might be able to tow in.
Walk and tow in the zone and save it for a turn. Just get more guys in there because you got the Helldiver already, right? That's already set. But you just need to get more guys in there, more things that he has to deal with.
Well, I mean...
Deathjack can't get there.
Assuming that these models here were not affected by the feat, which seems pretty likely, I think that at least this one can make the 14 inches in. Definitely that one. Shifted the... So definitely these ones here, I think, are going to be able to make the run in because I don't think they're affected by the feat.
Okay.
That puts more incorporeal models in there than Zira can handle on her own, although you still have to factor in Denny's spells.
Well, you still got the Scarlock right back there, so that's a Venom. Multiple Venoms from Denegra. Zira's magical guns.
The thing is that that zone is so crammed in that any Venom is going to hit friendly models.
Do you care at that point? If you
don't until you wind up killing your own models and not the enemy models.
Right. But if you trust in Michael Plummer's advice...
And just roll high?
And just roll better. You'll be fine.
So we see Blood Witches
But Death Drek looks like, I believe, a trample.
Yep.
Getting rid of that pesky Mechanothrall on the way.
Buys an attack and a Mechanothrall in front of him. Trying to free up that Arc Node, it looks like.
Yep.
And we have an Abomination check on the Blood Witches.
Yep.
Boom Howler passes. Blood Witches pass.
Yep. Everybody's okay with the Death Jack. They're used to that guy.
I mean, they've seen him a couple times.
Yeah,
before.
they're like, oh, we fought with this dude.
Yeah.
Why are you punching us?
He's usually on our side.
And why is your Denegra dead?
I mean, clearly that's the whole kernel of this disagreement.
No, this is Haley's fault.
Well, Haley engineered it, but I mean, it's still probably a pride thing.
Haley, think about it. Haley 3 comes out of Lock and Load 2015.
Yeah.
And it's all about there being like mirror versions of herself, right?
Sort of. We see the Blood Witches activating.
And now we have a mirror match for Jeanette. It's all Haley's fault.
Doing
Clearly.
an advance here, trying to get out of the way of the Night Wretch. Looks like he might be taking a free strike here.
Could be.
So the intent was to stay within half an inch.
Judge is checking in, see what's going on.
So Travis Marg there checking in. Tim Banky and over. So quick check confirms that he's still within melee range and line of sight. Jeremy considering here where he's going next. So walking away from the zone now. Really trying to clear up that Arc Node. And get rid of that Mechanothrall that's tying it up. And again, we'd really like to thank Geek and Sundry, who is also broadcasting the Lock and Load Twitch streams. If you're watching right now and you're new to Privateer Press's Twitch stream, we hope you'll follow our channel, where we do plenty more games like this and coverage, as well as exclusive sneak peeks of what's coming out our way from our various convention visits. We'll be giving out a free Privateer Press pin to one of our followers in chat when we hit 2,900 followers. So thank you very much to Geek and Sundry for doing that. And to everyone watching out in the world right now. Got a view there of the zone that's packed in right now.
Yep.
The Bane Thrall's the Helldiver. Mechanothrall does get eliminated by the combined efforts of the Styxis and moved around to get rid of it. So that Night Witch is now free. So I think we're going to see Jeremy's play here. If he's trying that hard to clear up that Arc Node.
Let's see what he's got.
Does it have the movement, though? It's only got 5 inches. That's not.
Yep. And then it gets to the forest.
Gets toe in the forest. That might. So he's in the forest. Did they measure the line of sight yet to see if he can see into things?
I mean, with how big those forest strips are on either side, like he can see. He had to get in it, but he can see.
So as this game winds up into its final stages here, the crowd around the finals table to see who the world champion of Warmachine and Hordes will be for the 2014-2015 season of Iron Gauntlet is definitely increasing.
Let's see if we can get a shot of the crowd coming in.
See Jeremy continuing to consider his options. He's moved the Night Wretch in to that forest, which the question is he going to go for a Hellmouth and try to clear out a bunch of the units, or does he have something larger in mind? And maybe going to try to go for Denegro. He's got a Boom Howler and a Bane Thrall that are definitely in the way.
Man, Jeremy is deep,
He's
deep.
really thinking about this right now in terms of what he's going to do. It seemed like he had a plan going forward, and now he's kind of just stalled out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right?
Yeah. Well, his options are very limited. His response has to be the right one here, or otherwise, it's gonna wind up costing him the game. Still has his feet to counter with, like you mentioned. He can lock down and drop the defensive most of Trent's stuff to the point to where he's almost guaranteed to hit whatever he wants to.
Oh, got a little shaky cam there for a second. Felt like I was in the war.
You were never in a war.
This war.
This war?
This war's all shaky cam.
I don't think so. I think it's been very steady cam. And kudos to Charles Foster, who's been working the camera all day.
I don't mean like the actual camera work. I'm just like thinking of the movie in my head.
Oh.
Right? It's all shaky cam shot, right? Mechanothrall's running through the streets and like Bane Thrall's chasing them. That's all shaky cam.
So we see a shot happening from, I believe, Saxon Auric here.
Yeah.
So it's got Orin Midwinter with that nice chain lightning spell ability.
Oh.
There you can see
get a look of all we got
the
some
folks
people
gathered around this late at night here at Lock and Load.
Yep. A bunch of people up in the
10
lounge
p.m.
as well watching this commentary live. So see a bunch of our finalists from the IG wanting to see who finishes it. Thanks to Charles Foster, our cameraman, for spinning the camera around.
So no real net result from that attack there. Jeremy now considering where he's going to go next. Still a ton of opposing Crix models in that zone. See a quick measurement here. And a miss. All right, so he manages to take out Moreland, it looks like, from the Devil's Shadow.
Yeah.
With a shot from Saxon Auric.
No, I don't think that was a shot from Saxon Auric. I think that was one of the Wither shot of Combine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were.
That was a Darkfire shot.
Yep. And that's why we heard Trent mention he wasn't RFP'd.
You can take his soul, but apparently you can't take his soul.
Right. Yeah, how does... Yeah, okay, never mind. We had this conversation already with the pirates in the trees.
This one's a little different. He just comes back as himself.
Right.
See that look of concentration on Jeremy's face there.
And it's... You got to imagine how hard this is for him, right?
One is like his 1/6 radiator is under crippling grasp, under the feet, I believe. Like, just, what's he going to do? Nothing. But it's there.
But he's got to do this turn right. I mean, if he doesn't think out every single step of this turn and make the right calls, it'll cost him the game.
No, this is definitely make or break. So here comes Denegro advancing forward.
Yep.
7 inches forward. I'm sure we're going to see the feet here. Just 4 folks left on her, it looks like. So measuring for the feet. So you're checking how many models he's going to be able to affect with it. It's a decent amount. So one of the Wither Shadow Combine will be out. Most of the Nis Hunters will be out as well. So there's the feet token. So Shadow Bind is in effect.
Feet v feet, right? Got to try and swing the tempo back in your favor, however you can.
He's made so many attack rolls, though, already without the benefit of the feet. Still has 4 focus left. So the question is now, what is he going to do with that remaining offensive capability from Denegra?
I mean, that's a Hellmouth, right, on Derek.
Looks like it. So there it is. 4 for Hellmouth and Denegra, or Derek Wraith.
No.
That's Curse of Shadows. So it does hit. That was Curse of Shadows with a boost, even after the feat.
All right. I'm ready to see where this goes. I'm excited to learn what's about to happen.
I'm certainly curious what the play is here, especially after so much has already activated.
He's got a line in mind, right? There's got to be something.
But why Curse of Shadows Darg? I mean, you can go through them now, I guess. So clearly there's a charge that he sees with the Helldiver, I guess, to Denegra. Yeah, it looks like what he's going to be planning here.
So he's going for straight assassination.
He's going straight for assassination.
Okay. I mean, if he gets it, man, that's impressive. That is impressive.
Denegra's down 3 on her defense, so she's far more hittable now at def 13. She's only armed 14.
We talked about the Helldiver would be the one thing not affected by feet, and right there. So
Helldiver's 1 off the damage, only gets 1 attack. I mean, it's certainly within the realm of feasibility that this works. But
I mean, it's mathematically possible, right?
Right now, it's a question of if that Bane Thrall is going to get the free strike, and it looks like that Night Wretch will also get a free strike based on the charge lane. And the Night Wretch not a problem. The Bane Thrall though.
The Bane Thrall's a nightmare, right?
The Bane Thrall.
Like if the Bane Thrall gets a free strike, it's just nightmare time all times.
It looks like he's going to.
Judges will let us know. They paused the clocks. It's really important, so it's time to let the judges step in and do their job.
This is a huge one because that Helldiver cannot. I mean, barring a really untimely bad roll from Trent, if that Helldiver's hit, so many Bane Thralls like kind of cried around.
So they're picking up Derek because he's just not important in this at all, right? They know that the Helldiver ends up basically perfectly on the other side of it.
Yeah, they clearly have that. They're checking for free strike on the other Bane Thrall. That one looks pretty good. Well, looks like that one's going to be just a hair out. Both
so
are hair out.
Judges ruled that both are out? I mean, that's about as close as you could possibly ever get.
Yeah, that was...
So he moves the Helldiver into actual position. They're going to leave the proxy base because it's just going to be a little difficult to get that Helldiver in there right now because it's packed as tight as you can go.
So discussing what he needs to hit. So he's going to need 7, it sounds like, to hit. So it's 2 focus left. He's going to boost the hit roll. No, he's just going to try to hard roll it. He does.
Yep.
POW 13. So 13 damage. Denegra's sitting on 3. Oh, here it is. Does hit, and that's game. Wow. So Jeremy Lee with an assassination run with a hell diver manages to take out Trent Denison in a shocking turn of events there. It was an amazing play. Way to see it. The Curse of Shadows to remove Dark Wraith as a problem and then open up a charge.